All righty. Senate will please come to order. Please stand for the prayer by Senator Peschlakai and remain standing for the pledge by either Senator Mendez or Senator Peterson.
Mother Earth, Father Sky, Mother Water, Father Sun, Yellow Corn Boy, White Corn Girl, and all the holy people that reside in our realm, we ask you to guide us this day, guide all people that are of this Mother Earth, our brothers and sisters of the sky, our brothers and sisters of the water, our brothers and sisters that cannot be seen by our eyes, and all the earth surface people. We ask you to protect us this day, to guide us this day. May we live in harmony and beauty, with beauty before us, beauty above us, beauty beneath us, beauty all around us, beauty within us, and beauty in all that we speak, and beauty all that we say, and beauty in all that we plan. All is in beauty, all is in beauty, all is in beauty, all is in beauty. I'm done.
Members, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
Attendance will now be recorded by electronic roll call. Okay, now we can get started. Everybody is here. Okay. I have no screen up here. So let's see who we're missing. I'll look at your screen. Senator Gabaldon, are you here?
Present.
Thank you. Senator Alston, are you here?
Present.
Thank you. Senator Otondo, are you here?
Present.
Thank you. So we have 29 present, 0 absent, and 1 excused. Without objection, the reading of the Journal of Thursday, April 22nd, 2021 is dispensed with and approved as recorded by the Secretary. Introduction of guests, points of personal privilege. Seeing none. President, without objection, communications from the governor's office as listed on the calendar will not be read, will be entered into the journal. Secretary will record the action. Without objection, messages from the House as listed on the calendar will not be read. The messages will be entered into the journal, and Senate Bill 1457 is transmitted to the governor. Without objection, messages from the House as listed on the calendar will not be read. The messages will be entered into the journal. Committee of the Whole, Senator Gray.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the Senate resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole for consideration of bills on the calendar.
Thank you, members. You've all heard that motion. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Appears the ayes have it, do have it so ordered. I will ask Senator Bartow to please take the chair.
Committee of the Whole is called to order. Mr. Majority Leader.
Madam Chairman, without objection, I move all bills on the calendar be read by number and title only.
Thank you. The chair recognizes, without objection, so ordered. The chair recognizes Senator Gray.
Madam Chair, without objection, I move House Bill 2241 be retained on the calendar.
Thank you. Members, you've heard the motion. Any discussions? Without objection, so ordered. The chair will the reader will read the next bill on the calendar, please.
HB 2295, an act amending Title 38, Chapter 8, Article 1, ARS, providing Section 301117 related to law enforcement officers. The Committee on Rules recommends the following bill is proper for consideration with recommendation for a floor amendment. HB 2295, signed Karen Fan, Chairman. Madam President, your Committee on Judiciary, having had under consideration HB 2295, relating to law enforcement officer database rules, submits the following report. Your Committee recommends the bill be passed. Signed Warren Peterson, Chairman.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that when the Committee of the Whole rise and report recommends HB 2295 do pass.
And there is a Peterson floor amendment to be read.
I move the following amendment to House Bill 2295, reference to House and Gross Bill, signed Warren Peterson.
Chair recognizes Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the Peterson floor amendment be adopted.
Thank you. Explanation?
Madam Chair, I don't have that in front of me. Hold on. Okay. Yes, Madam Chair, this is the result of a stakeholders process and was promised coming out of committee, as one of the last bills in the last weeks of committee. The three things that this floor amendment does is that it states that a prosecuting agency that is unable to provide notice 10 days before making a determination to place a law enforcement officer's name in a Rule 15.1 database must provide the notice as soon as practicable. 2, specifies that the duty of a prosecuting agency to produce Rule 15.1 disclosure information includes initial placement of a law enforcement officer in the database while being considered for placement. And 3, provides that a prosecuting agency must use the Rule 15.1 database only to make a charging decision rather than a report that is required by applicable state and federal laws and rules.
Thank you. Members, you've heard the motion. All those in favor of the Peterson floor amendment will say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it, do have it, so ordered. Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that when the Committee of the Whole rise and report recommends HB 2295 as amended do pass.
Thank you, members. You've heard the motion. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor. Oh, I'm sorry. Senator Quesada.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairman. I rise in opposition to House Bill 2295. Ladies and gentlemen, the Derek Chauvin murder trial literally just ended less than a week ago. And a jury did find Officer Chauvin guilty of murdering George Floyd, and he's not even the latest person of color who's been murdered by law enforcement. since that trial began. While this verdict is definitely welcome, I'm sure by all of us, it's definitely a reminder to us all that police accountability should be the norm and should not be the exception. And our nation, I hope we would all agree, Madam Chair and members, that our nation is desperately in need of leaders who are going to stand up and eliminate the rule of police impunity and reform our criminal injustice system. And that type of reform of our criminal injustice system, it doesn't just include our sentencing statutes. It also involves preventing people from coming into the system in the first place. And the number one way they come into our system is through their interaction with our law enforcement. We can't claim that we are reforming our system if we aren't accounting for police abuse of power and then directly address the disparate impact that policing has on people of color. So what this bill does, Madam Chair and members, House Bill 2295, is it creates more hurdles to disciplining police officers who engage in misconduct. And these are police officers who are dangerous. They have done some seriously bad things. And inevitably, these are the exact individuals who will lead to more unnecessary police killings in our community. So these are exactly the people that we need to hold accountable. Officer Chauvin, he had a long history of misconduct before he committed the murder of George Floyd. In fact, he had 18 complaints on his official record, including official letters of reprimand. So what this bill tells our community right now is that police officer misconduct will be tolerated, and I think that's a horrible message that we should be sending to our community right now, especially right now with everything that's happening. And I think it's an even worse message that we're sending to those officers who are engaging in this type of conduct. So I would ask us all to really pump the brakes on bills just like this one. This is not the time, this is not the place to be engaging in this type of policy changes when we need to be moving in the opposite direction and start finding ways to heal the rift between law enforcement and our communities that they are policing. House Bill 2295 doesn't do that, so I would ask you all to oppose House Bill 2295. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator. The chair recognizes Senator Engel.
Yes, Madam Chair, may I make a comment?
Please proceed.
Yes, I have to say, so this bill goes in a direction of making it more difficult to police officers who have not been forthcoming with exonerating information about defendants in violation of the Constitution. But what I wanted to talk about is that there has been a lot of attention to Arizona's Brady List rules. And there was a very in-depth investigation that was done by one of our media outlets, ABC 15, which found a lot of things about our process that needs to be addressed. And unfortunately, this bill does nothing to address those things. So I would like to put on the record what some of these findings were so that we can turn to this and make these changes and reforms that are needed. So as it turns out, there is no official statewide list of Brady List officers. And there's no official standards for what misconduct is required for disclosure that places an officer on this list. Each county keeps their own non-public list in their own way. So this means that an officer that is placed on this list in one county can freely move to another county, and that county would have no idea that this officer's name has been placed on this list or why. There's no requirement for police and prosecutors to report Brady-level misconduct to AZ Post. And yet it seems that AZ Post should have this information. And finally, the Brady List relies almost exclusively on voluntary reporting by law enforcement agencies. There's little outside oversight to ensure misconduct is properly investigated, sustained, and disclosed. And this is something that affects the officers that are part of this system, as well as the communities. So I think across the board, we need to do reforms in this area, and I think that we know what those reforms are. So thank you for making this, allowing me to make this comment.
Thank you, Senator Engel. Any further discussion? The chair recognizes Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise to make a statement.
Please
comment.
proceed.
Thank you. Well, my colleagues from District 10 and District 29 have just eloquently said and stated how we should not, why we should not be supporting House Bill 2295. As a person, a woman of color, and my constituents being over 56% of color, I think I stand here before you in opposition as well to 2295. I think this country needs to go in the right direction with holding people accountable, law enforcement accountable when they encounter any citizen during their line of work. And it's really incumbent in us as leaders of the state to really not put in place laws that will make it harder to discipline law enforcement officers when they continue to do wrong in their line of work, and especially for our communities. So again, I stand in opposition of 2295. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor will say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it, do have it, so ordered. The reader will read the next bill on the calendar.
HB 2462, an act amending Title 38, Chapter 8 ARS, writing Article 3 relating to public safety officers. The committee on rules and commence following bills are proper for consideration. HB 2462, signed Karen Fan, Chairman. Madam President, your Committee on Judiciary, having had under consideration HB 2462, relating to Civilian Review Board members' training, submits the following report. Your committee recommends the bill do pass. Signed, Warren Peterson, Chairman.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that when the Committee of the Whole rises, report recommends that HB 2462 do pass.
Thank you. And there is a grave floor amendment.
I move the following amendment to House Bill 2462, reference to House and Gross Bill, signed Rick Gray.
Chair recognizes Senator Gray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the Gray floor amendment to House Bill 2462 be adopted.
Thank you. Explanation, please.
It simply removes the stipulation that a civilian committee that engages in community outreach efforts regarding actions taken by a state or local law enforcement agency be categorized as a civilian review board.
Thank you. The question before you is the adoption of the Gray floor amendment. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor will say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it, do have it, so ordered. Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that when the Committee of the Whole rises, report recommends that HB 2462 as amended do pass.
Thank you, members. You've heard Senator Quezada, you're on the board.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair and members. I rise in opposition to House Bill 2462. It's almost the exact same issue we were literally just talking about at the last bill. And here we are again. Obviously, there were several communities, several cities and municipalities that have recognized this problem that we have in our community right now between law enforcement not holding their bad actors accountable and trying to mend that rift between our law enforcement and our communities that they are policing. This bill targets those exact committees that came up with the solution to that problem, and it effectively neuters each of those boards that those cities have created. What this effectively does is it will exclude the very people who are the most impacted by police misconduct and police violence from serving on these oversight boards. The exact people who need it the most are now going to be precluded from serving on those boards. And these are working class communities of color who will be the most impacted. What are we thinking by doing this? Especially right now with everything happening in our nation right now. If you don't want us talking about racism on the floor, don't put up bills like this on the board, because that's exactly what we have to talk about. And This bill sends a direct message to communities of color that their lives don't matter, that their efforts, no matter how sophisticated, no matter how bipartisan they are, no matter how much they work with their government, their efforts to find solutions and hold bad actor law enforcement officers accountable will not be tolerated. This bill, House Bill 2642, will make the oversight board members, the very members who want to serve on this board, it will make them pay for training, even though they already receive training for free. And then, interestingly, it'll say that the training that they already receive doesn't count towards the mandatory training. So they're going to have to expend money out of their pockets to pay to participate on these boards. That is exactly how you are discriminating against people who want to serve on these boards and who need to be serving on these boards. Lastly, what do we really think is going to happen if we effectively neuter or essentially eliminate each of these oversight boards? Do we think that the problems of police violence are going to disappear? No, of course not. That's not going to happen. If we do this, those problems are going to continue to fester in our communities. And those bad actors are going to continue to act bad in their official roles, wearing a badge and carrying a gun in our communities. We don't want the next trial of the next Derek Chauvin to have to be interrupted again by the next Dante Wright, or the next Adam Toledo, or the next Makia Bryant, or the next Antonio Brown, or Andrew Brown. Those are all individuals who, since that trial began, were impacted by police violence, and it cost them their lives. So these are solutions that cities have come up with. We should be supporting these solutions. We should be providing them the resources they need, and we should be inviting people to serve on these oversight boards so that we can bring some justice to our communities, we can hold bad actors accountable, and we can mend the rift that is absolutely there between our law enforcement and our communities that are being policed by them. So, Madam Chair and members, I ask you all to please oppose House Bill 2462.
Thank you, Senator. Any further discussion? The question before you, seeing none, the question before you is that when the Committee of the Whole rise and report, Senate Bill 2462 as amended do pass. All those in favor will say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it, do have it, so ordered. Senator Gray,
Thank you, Madam Chair. Without objection, I move House Bill 2617 be retained on the calendar.
without objection, so ordered. The chair will read, the reader will read the next bill on the calendar.
HB 2792, an act amending Section 16542 ARS relating to early voting. The Committee on Rules recommends the following bills are proper for consideration. HB 2792, signed Karen Van Sherman. Madam President, your Committee on Judiciary, having had under consideration HB 2792 related to early ballots, request required, submits the following report. Your Committee recommends the bill do pass. Signed Warren Peterson, Chairman.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that when the Committee of the Whole rise and reporter recommends that HB 2792 do pass.
Thank you. Members, you've heard the motion. Is there any discussion? Seeing no, all those in favor will say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it, do have it, so ordered. The reader will read the last bill on the calendar.
HB 2879, an act amending Section 42101, 43105, 43121, 43122, Arizona Revised Statutes, Binding Title 43, Chapter 10, Article 3, Arizona Revised Statutes, Binding Section 43102201, related taxation. The Committee on Rules recommends the following bills are proper consideration. HB 2879, signed Karen Van Sherman. Madam President, your Committee on Finance, having had under consideration HB 2879 related conformity Internal Revenue Code exception, recommends the bill be as follows. Reference to House and Gross Bill. As to amendment, your Committee recommends the bill do pass. Signed David Livingston, Chairman.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Senator Livingston.
Thank you, Madam Chair. When the Committee Whole Rise reports, it should recommend House Bill 2879 with a due pass recommendation.
Thank you. And there is a Finance Committee amendment.
Madam President, your Committee on Finance, having had under consideration HB 2879 related conformity Internal Revenue Code exception, recommends the bill as follows. Reference to House and Gross Bill. As to amendment, your Committee recommends the bill do pass. Signed David Livingston, Chairman.
Senator Livingston.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the amendments from the Finance Committee be adopted.
Thank you. And there is a Livingston floor amendment.
I move the following amendment to House Bill 2879, reference to Finance Committee amendment, signed David Livingston.
Senator Livingston to move the floor amendment, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the floor amendment in my name be adopted.
Thank you. Explanation.
Madam Chair, simply what this does, it makes the Director of Department of Revenue sign off on any new rules and drafts and notifications.
Thank you. Members, you've heard the motion. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the Livingston floor amendment will say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it, do have it, so ordered. Senator Livingston to move the Finance Committee amendment as amended.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the Finance Committee as amended be receive a due pass.
Thank you. Members, you've heard the motion. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it, do have it, so ordered. Senator Livingston, the bill as amended, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move in the Committee Whole Rights and Reports that recommends that House Bill 2879 as amended receive a due pass.
Thank you. Members, you've heard the motion. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor will say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it, do have it, so ordered. That completes the calendar. Mr. Majority Leader.
Madam Chair, I move the Committee of the Whole rise and report.
Thank you. All those in favor will vote aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it, do have it, so ordered.
Reader will please read the report.
Madam President, your Committee of the Whole, having had under consideration legislation listed below, made the following recommendation. HB 2241 retained on calendar. HB 2295 due pass as amended. HB 2462 due pass as amended. HB 2617 retained on calendar. HB 2792 due pass. HB 2879 due pass as amended. Respectfully, Nancy Bardo, Chairman, Committee of the Whole.
Senator Bartow.
I move the report of the Committee of the Whole be adopted and the bills be properly assigned.
Thank you. Members, you've all heard that motion. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed, nay? Appears the ayes have it, do have it, so ordered. Third reading of bills.
HB 2131, an act establishing the License Plate Standardization Study Committee.
Members, you've heard the third reading of House Bill 2131. Those in favor of the measure vote aye. Those opposed vote no. System is now open. Senate will now proceed to vote. Let's see, let's go in reverse order today. Senator Otondo, how do you vote on 2131?
Senator Otondo votes aye on 2131.
Thank you. Senator Gabaldon?
Senator Gabaldon, I vote aye on HB 2131.
Thank you. Senator Alston?
Madam President, this is Leila Alston, and I vote aye on House Bill 2131.
Thank you. Senators Alston, Gabaldon, and Otondo are all yeses on House Bill 2131. Members, have you all voted? Members, have you all voted? System is now closed. Secretary will now record the vote. By vote of 27 ayes, 2 nays, 1 not voting, you have passed House Bill 2131, signed in open session. Secretary is instructed to record the action, transmit the bill to the House. Third reading of bills.
HB 2170, an act amending sections 121572, 121574, 121580, 121591, 12159803, 12159804, 12159807, 12159810, 12159812, and 125915, Arizona Revised Statutes, related to garnishment.
Members, you've all heard the third reading of House Bill 2170. Those in favor of the measure vote aye. Those opposed vote no. The system is now open and the Senate will now proceed to vote. Senator Otondo, how do you vote on 2170?
Otondo votes aye on 2170.
Thank you. Senator Gabaldon?
Senator Gabaldon, I vote aye on HB 2170.
Thank you. Senator Alston?
Madam President, this is Leila Alston, and I vote aye on House Bill 2170.
Thank you. Senators Otondo, Gabaldon, Alston are all ayes on 2170. Members, have you all voted? System is now closed. Secretary will now record the vote by vote of 29 ayes, 0 nays, 1 not voting. You have passed House Bill 2170, signed in open session. Secretary is instructed to record the action, transmit the bill to the House. Third reading of bills, House Bill 2700.
HB 2700, an act amending sections 11419 and 12281 ARS relating to county officers.
Members, you've all heard the third reading of House Bill 2700. Those in favor of the measure vote aye. Those opposed to vote no. The system is now open, and the Senate will now proceed to vote. Senator Otondo, how do you vote?
Rotundo votes aye on 2700.
Thank you. Senator Gabaldon?
Senator Gabaldon, I vote aye on HB 2700.
Thank you. Senator Alston?
Madam President, this is Leila Alston, and I vote aye on House Bill 2700.
Thank you. Senators Alston, Gabaldon, and Otondo are all ayes on House Bill 2700. Members, have you all voted? Members, have you all voted? Members, have you all voted? Senator Borelli, how do you vote? Senator Mesnard, how do you vote? Thank you. System is now closed. Secretary will now record the action by a vote of 22 ayes, 7 nays, 1 not voting. You have passed House Bill 2700, signed in open session. Secretary is instructed to record the action, transmit the bill to the House. Third reading of bills.
HB 2711, an act amending Title 9, Chapter 5, Article 8 ARS, providing Section 9600 related to public utilities.
Members, you've heard the third reading of House Bill 2711. Those in favor of the measure vote aye. Those opposed to vote no. The system is now open, and the Senate will now proceed to vote. Senator Otondo, how do you vote on 2711?
Rotundo votes aye on 2711.
Thank you. Senator Gabaldon?
Senator Gabaldon, I vote aye on HB 2711.
Thank you. Senator Alston?
Madam President, this is Leila Alston, and I vote aye on House Bill 2711.
Thank you. Senators Alston, Gabaldon, and Otondo are all ayes on 2711. Members, have you all voted? Members, have you all voted? Members, have you all voted? I hear a lot of chatter. Not any voting. Senator Borelli, how do you vote? Senator Marsh, how do you vote? System is now closed. Secretary will now record the vote by a vote of 22 ayes, 7 nays, 1 not voting. You have passed House Bill 2711. Signed in open session, Secretary is instructed to record the action, transmit the bill to the House. Third reading of bills.
HB 2876, an act amending Sections 287365, 287705, 34603 ARS relating to contracts.
You've heard the third reading of House Bill 2876. Those in favor of the measure vote aye. Those opposed to vote no. System is now open. Senate will now proceed to vote. Senator Otondo, how do you vote on 2876?
Rotundo votes aye on 2876.
Thank you. Senator Gabaldon?
Senator Gabaldon, I vote aye on HB 2876.
Thank you. Senator Alston?
Madam President, this is Leila Alston, and I vote aye on House Bill 2876.
Thank you, ma'am. Senators Alston, Gabaldon, Otondo are all ayes on 2876. Members, have you all voted? Members, have you all voted? Members, have you all voted? Thank you. System is now closed. Secretary will now record the vote. By a vote of 26 ayes, 3 nays, 1 not voting, you have passed House Bill 2876. Signed in open session. Secretary is instructed to record the action, transmit the bill to the House. Committee announcements for Tuesday, April 27th. Senator Borelli.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. With your permission, the Republican Caucus will be meeting at 10 a.m. or 10:00 in Caucus Room Number 1 tomorrow on Tuesday, April 27th.
Thank you. Senator Contreras.
Madam President, with your permission, the Democratic Caucus will be meeting at 10 a.m. in Caucus Room 2.
Thank you very much. Senator Ugenti, could you please come see me in my office right after floor, please? Thank you. Senator Gray.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the Senate stand adjourned until Tuesday, April 27th, 2021 at 10:15 a.m.
Thank you, members. You've all heard that motion. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed, nay. Appears the ayes have it. Do have it so ordered. We are adjourned.